with it being a Canadian citizen, he said, "Oh, I didn't know that." How did he not know that? Then he said, with the loans, "Oh, I didn't know that." Smart guy. He doesn't know that? Yeah, that's worse than Hillary when you think about it.
Donald Trump on the stump prior to picking up Sarah Palin's endorsement last night. And, of course, there was Donald talking about Ted Cruz, a smart guy who he said, for whatever reason, was not in the know, and equating Ted with Hillary Clinton. Oh, those are fighting words as the race is heating up on the Republican side for the Iowa caucuses. So with the Sarah Palin endorsement and the tough talk from Trump, will that work? It's a question worth asking our political panel. Skyping in from Indianapolis, former White House spokesman for President George W. Bush, Pete Seat. Pete, of course, now senior project manager for Hathaway Strategies. And straight from our Newsmax Prime newsroom, former communications director for the Gore-Lieberman 2000 presidential campaign, Joy Howell. Joy is managing partner at Cambridge Strategic Partners. So Pete Seat, we're so close to the Iowa caucuses. These negative attacks that Trump is putting on Ted Cruz, will they hurt or help the Donald?
Well, that's still to be seen. I mean, yesterday was a very interesting day in Iowa. The clip you played, the Sarah Palin endorsement, the governor of Iowa, Terry Branstad, saying he does not want Ted Cruz to win in that state. But I do think it's laughable to say that Ted Cruz is worse than Hillary Clinton. The only person worse than Hillary Clinton in this presidential race is perhaps Bernie Sanders. So Trump trying to make that connection, I think, is going to fall flat in Iowa and elsewhere.
Well, now, Joy might differ in your evaluation, both of Hillary and Bernie, but to the broader theme of rhetorical excess, Joy, did a special live interview last night with Jeb Bush right here, and Jeb called the Donald a junkyard dog. Now, Joy, whatever delight you must see with Republican on Republican harsh rhetoric, is this stuff getting out of hand?
Well, typically, I think Jeb is a pretty thoughtful guy. I think what he's doing is coming down to Trump's level, which is a 10th grade level. He's running a race that's about on a 10th grade level. It's the politics of personality. And voters don't have to get into the details of policy. All they have to do is listen to who's shouting the loudest and who's saying the meanest things. What's the saying? You know, if you can't say anything nice, come over and sit by me. It has some appeal.
Well, away from politics, more to public policy with a political implication. That revelation from a senior inspector general of information, classified documents of a higher level than top secret on Hillary's private server. The Clinton camp is saying this is all partisan. They say this investigation was led by a Republican. Pete, is this typical Clinton rhetoric trying to call out coarse partisanship and evade responsibility?
Look, if you listen to Hillary Clinton spokesperson Brian Fallon, he said none of this would be an issue if only the American people could see the emails. Well, that is the issue, isn't it? This is, if you want to talk about coordinated efforts here, you've had a coordinated effort to shield the emails from public scrutiny. They release them drip, drip, drip on Fridays and during holiday weekends. They don't want people to see these emails. They are clearly hiding something, and that's why they're now in a defensive posture with this new information.
All right, now, Joy, we just heard Pete reference Brian Fallon and his appearance on CNN. Tell you what, let's look at Brian and hear it in his own words, and then, Joy, we'll get your reaction.
Actually, this is fundamentally the same issue that's been going on since the summer. What's going on is we have an interagency dispute about what's classified and what's not. The State Department has attested that these emails that were on Hillary Clinton's system were not classified at the time they were sent or received.
An interagency dispute? Is it just that neat and tidy, Joy?
Well, I think there are a lot of debates about these emails. Certainly, Hillary has appeared before congressional committees and testified for hours about the emails. I think it'd be better to take a look at what are her policies versus the policies on the Republican side and try to decide which of these various people that are up for the president might be a better candidate for us.
Well, it's very interesting to see the latest polling from New Hampshire. According to the new survey from CNN and WMUR, the majority of Democrat voters there think Clinton is the least honest candidate. That's up almost 10 points from December. It seems the court of public opinion, at least in the Granite State, finds her less than trustworthy, Pete.
Yeah, and no surprise. I mean, that has been an issue for the Clintons for their entire political careers, and I'm sure it's driving Bernie Sanders' numbers north in that state, that she has these issues of not being seen as trustworthy, and this email issue continues to dog her for that reason. People don't trust what she did in having that private server and conducting government business, the people's business, the public's business on a private server.
Joy, final 30 seconds to you. We understand that Hillary supporters are starting to use the S word about Bernie Sanders, not for Sanders, but for socialist. Is that going to work?
This is the first election in my memory where it's really a populist versus a corporatist election. I would have thought that the socialist word would be a negative for Sanders. In this particular election, I don't think so.
All right. Joy Howell from our Newsmax Prime newsroom, Pete Seat via Skype from a cold Indianapolis. Thanks for heating it up with our political panel tonight.
Thank you.
You heard what they had to say. Agree or disagree? Send me your comments at newsmaxtv.com/comments. Next, a look at Wall Street with Bert Doman.